I tried different voices. I first started a little bit of Julia Childs, but it just looks like she's had a few Glenfiddich.
The favorite memory. It was an extraordinary experience.
What if the laughter that warmed millions hit a storm no one could see? Robin Williams, the man who turned every room into a stage, carried a secret that even his closest friends couldn't fully grasp. Behind the voices, the wit, and the unstoppable energy was a heart wrestling with shadows. Moments of kindness so profound they changed lives, and a struggle so quiet it nearly slipped by unnoticed. Step into a story of genius, compassion, and the hidden truths that shaped a legend's final days. What was it about Robin Williams that left such a lasting mark on Sally Field? Beyond the laughter and the larger-than-life roles, there was a side to him that few ever glimpsed, until one unforgettable moment on the set of Mrs. Doubtfire changed everything. In 1993, the world was captivated by a heartwarming comedy that became a cultural phenomenon. Mrs. Doubtfire, based on Anne Fine's novel alias Madame Doubtfire, followed Daniel Hillard, a father so devoted to his children that he transformed into a Scottish nanny to stay in their lives post-divorce. Directed by Chris Columbus, the film starred Robin Williams as Daniel and Sally Field as his ex-wife, Miranda. It grossed over $441 million worldwide, trailing only Jurassic Park that year, and won an Academy Award for Best Makeup. But behind the scenes, a quieter story was unfolding, one of connection, creativity, and compassion that would define their time together. It wasn't a glitzy premiere or a star-studded event where Sally and Robin first met. It was on the bustling set of Mrs. Doubtfire, where the air crackled with anticipation. Robin, already a comedy legend, brought an electric energy that could shift a scene in an instant. Sally, a two-time Oscar winner known for her emotional depth, was his perfect foil. From their first shared moment, something clicked. Their chemistry wasn't just professional, it was alive, unpredictable, and deeply human. But what was it about Robin that made this collaboration so different? Sally was about to discover a spark that went beyond his comedic genius. Robin's approach to acting was like a storm, wild, brilliant, and impossible to predict. He'd nail a few scripted takes, then dive into improvisation, conjuring new voices, gestures, and lines that left everyone in stitches. One scene, where Daniel's prosthetic mask flew out a window and was flattened by a truck, took over 50 grueling takes to perfect. Yet, Robin's commitment never wavered. His character, inspired partly by his childhood nanny, Lolly, carried a personal touch that made Mrs. Doubtfire more than a role. It was a piece of his heart. Sally watched in awe as he transformed simple moments into cinematic gold. But could she keep up with his whirlwind creativity? Director Chris Columbus had a plan to harness Robin's magic. Knowing a single camera couldn't capture his spontaneity, he used multiple angles to catch every unscripted gem. This gave Robin freedom to play, whether he was slipping in a quip like "Carpe dentum, seize the teeth," when Mrs. Doubtfire's dentures fell into a glass, or testing his costume in a San Francisco adult shop to ensure it was convincing. Sally didn't try to match his frenetic pace. Instead, she grounded their scenes with raw, authentic reactions, making their on-screen divorce feel painfully real, yet laced with humor. Their dynamic was a dance, Robin's chaos meeting Sally's calm, creating moments that still resonate with audiences today. Their connection went deeper than the camera. Off-set, Robin was more than a comedian. He was a listener, someone who noticed the smallest shifts in mood. Sally, with her quiet strength, admired his ability to balance boundless energy with genuine care. They weren't just co-stars, they were collaborators who lifted each other up. Robin respected Sally's emotional honesty, while she marveled at his fearless creativity. This mutual admiration built a bond that felt like a shared secret. But what was it about Robin that Sally saw when the cameras stopped rolling? Then came a moment that revealed the man behind the mask. During the filming of the divorce scene, Sally received devastating news. She was in her camper when a doctor called. Her father, who had suffered a stroke years earlier, had passed away after another massive stroke. Heartbroken, Sally made the painful choice not to resuscitate him, whispering through the phone, "Please tell him Sally says goodbye." Determined to stay professional, she stepped onto the set, hiding her grief. But Robin saw through her facade. His intuition, sharp as his wit, picked up on her pain. Without hesitation, he pulled her aside and asked, "Are you okay?" When she shared her loss, he didn't pause. He spoke to Chris Columbus, rearranging the day's schedule so Sally could leave to grieve with her family. Sally later reflected, "He was very sensitive and intuitive. He made it happen. They shot around me the rest of the day. I could go back to my house, call my brother and make arrangements." It's a side of Robin that people rarely knew. This act of kindness wasn't just a gesture. It was a window into Robin's soul, a glimpse of the empathy that fueled his performances. For Sally, it was a moment she'd carry forever, a testament to a friendship forged in trust and respect. The air on the Mrs. Doubtfire set hung heavy that day, a stillness cutting through the usual hum of lights and chatter. Sally Field's voice trembled as she confided in Robin Williams, "My father just passed." Those words landed like a stone, rippling through the moment, and what unfolded next peeled back the layers of a man the world thought it knew. Robin didn't pause to weigh his options or glance at the call sheet. "Oh my God, we've got to get you out of here," he said, his tone urgent yet tender, as if her pain was his own. It wasn't just a reflex, it was a lifeline, tossed to a friend drowning in sudden loss. Right there, amid the chaos of a blockbuster in the making, he chose her over everything else. With the authority of a lead actor and the quiet sway of a co-producer, Robin didn't let the moment linger. He sought out Chris Columbus, the director steering this ship, and laid it out plain. "Can we switch to the courtroom scenes without her? She needs to leave, now." His words carried weight, not because of his fame, but because of the earnestness behind them. The crew didn't blink. Scenes shifted, schedules morphed, and the day bent to his will. Sally slipped away to mourn, to call her brother, to piece together what comes after a goodbye. "They worked around me all afternoon," she'd later say, her voice catching on the memory. It wasn't a favor, it was Robin seeing her, truly seeing her, when the world might have expected her to soldier on. That wasn't the Robin Williams of tabloid covers or late-night reruns. This was a man who could hush his own storm to cradle someone else's. He lingered with her until she could step away, a steady hand in a moment that threatened to unravel her. Sally once described him as sensitive, almost too intuitive, a soul who could sense a fracture before it showed. To her, a veteran of Hollywood's highs and lows, this wasn't just kindness. It was a rare, unguarded gift. He didn't shout it from the rooftops or call for applause. He simply acted, turning a film set into a sanctuary, proving that beneath the manic genius was a heart attuned to the quiet cries others missed. His warmth didn't stop at Sally's side, though. Robin carried it like a torch, lighting up every corner of that production. He'd perch with the gaffers during breaks, trading stories over sandwiches, or ask a shy assistant how their kid was doing. It wasn't for show, he genuinely cared. A sound tech once said Robin could spot a slumped shoulder across the room and be there with a quip or a nod before anyone else noticed. He wove a thread of belonging through the crew, making a machine of deadlines and egos feel human. And when the camera stopped rolling, that light stretched further. He poured himself into Comic Relief USA, rallying millions for the homeless, over $80 million to be exact, and crisscrossed the globe, bringing laughs to troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. He didn't chase the spotlight for it. He just wanted to ease the weight of the world, one person at a time. Sally carries that day with her still, a memory wrapped in both ache and awe. "He should be here, aging alongside me," she murmured once, her words a bridge between joy and loss. Their connection wasn't confined to a single script. It was a tapestry of shared giggles and unspoken trust. She replays that afternoon often, the numbness creeping in, the camper's dim light, and Robin stepping in like a shield against the storm. "I'd never told anyone this before," she confessed, not for attention, but to honor a friend who'd carved out a space for her to breathe. It wasn't loud or flashy, just a man who knew what she needed before she did, who turned a workday into a haven. What set Robin apart wasn't the voices he conjured or the roles he owned, it was this, a soul that could feel the pulse of a room and shift it. Al Pacino called him profound. Ben Stiller marveled at his depth. Sally saw it up close, a gentleness that didn't need a stage. "Most never glimpsed that part of him," she said, and she's right. The world cheered the clown, but she knew the guardian who'd cradle your hurt like it was his to carry. He could lift you with a laugh or steady you with silence, and somehow, he made it look effortless. That's what lingers for her, not the spotlight, but the shadow of his care. His legacy sprawls beyond the reels of film, etched in the lives he brushed with grace. Sets became families under his watch. Strangers turned into confidants. Sally holds tight to that truth. Robin didn't just entertain, he healed. But even as he stitched others back together, something began to fray within him. The man who'd spent decades scattering joy started wrestling with a darkness he kept hidden. What shadows crept into his light in those final years? The laughter that once defined Robin Williams began to fade, replaced by a shadow that crept silently into his life. In the early months of 2014, the man who'd lit up screens and stages was grappling with a second divorce's lingering wounds, a remarriage to Susan Schneider that promised hope but demanded adjustment, and a career that no longer burned as brightly. His TV series, The Crazy Ones, fizzled after one season, a sting for someone whose name once guaranteed magic. Caught between a past he couldn't reclaim and a future that felt uncertain, Robin was searching for solid ground, but what unseen force was pulling him under? Then came a blow that shook his core. In May 2014, doctors delivered a diagnosis: Parkinson's disease. For a performer whose genius flowed through quick wit and boundless energy, the prospect of trembling hands and fading memory was a nightmare. Parkinson's, a progressive disorder, often brings stiffness, cognitive decline, and emotional turmoil, amplifying the anxiety and depression Robin already carried. He felt his world closing in, each day a struggle to hold on to the spark that had defined him. Yet the truth was even crueler than he knew, a hidden condition that no one saw coming. After his passing, an autopsy uncovered a devastating reality. Robin hadn't been battling Parkinson's but Lewy body dementia, a merciless brain disorder. Affecting over 1.4 million Americans, it wreaks havoc on memory, movement, and mood, triggering hallucinations, paranoia, and profound despair. Unlike Parkinson's, its symptoms ebb and flow, leaving sufferers like Robin caught in a disorienting cycle of clarity and chaos. He fought a storm he couldn't name, his brilliance betrayed by the very mind that made him a legend. Why did the truth stay hidden until it was too late? Those closest to him saw the change. Susan Schneider later called it a terrorist inside my husband's brain, a force that stole moments of his vibrant self. One day he'd flash his old charm, the next he'd withdraw, his hands unsteady, his thoughts tangled. For a man who thrived on spontaneity, this loss of control was a quiet torment. Yet to the world, he wore his smile like armor, cracking jokes while an unseen weight pressed harder. Friends noticed his laughter dimming, but few grasped the depth of his struggle. He hid it well, too well. Robin pushed to keep going, taking roles, chasing normalcy, but the illness was relentless. By mid-2014, he grew more isolated, unsure how to voice the confusion swallowing him. The man who once turned rooms into stages now retreated into silence. On August 11, 2014, the world stopped. Robin passed away in his California home, leaving a void felt across continents. The grief was instant. Fans flooded social media, sharing clips of Aladdin and Dead Poets Society, while stars like Billy Crystal choked back tears at the Emmys, calling him the greatest friend. But what did his loss reveal about the battles we can't see? The tragedy sparked a global reckoning. Robin's passing ignited conversations about mental health and misdiagnosis, with Lewy body dementia searches spiking 3,000% in days. Google Trends 2014. It laid bare a truth: even the brightest souls can hide the darkest fights. Sally Field, reflecting on her friend, felt the ache of knowing his boundless empathy rarely turned inward. "He gave so much to us," she said, "but couldn't save enough for himself." His death wasn't just a loss, it was a call to look closer, to ask harder questions of those we love. Robin's light still burns through his work. In Mrs. Doubtfire, he poured his heart into a father fighting for his kids, a role that grossed $441 million and lives on in family movie nights. His genie in Aladdin, 90% improvised, remains a cultural touchstone, quoted by kids and adults alike. Dead Poets. Society's carpe diem still inspires graduates to chase dreams, while Good Will Hunting earned him an Oscar, blending humor with raw wisdom. These weren't just roles. They were Robin's soul on screen, touching lives decades later. His generosity left echoes too. He lifted Christopher Reeve after a paralyzing accident, bursting into his hospital room as a faux Russian doctor, sparking Reeve's first laugh post-tragedy. Jeff Bridges called him a cosmic force. Whoopi Goldberg mourned him as family. Former President Obama hailed him as one of a kind, a man who touched every element of the human spirit. Fans shared stories online, some pulling over mid-drive, gutted by the news. Robin wasn't just a star. He was a friend who'd been there through life's highs and lows. Robin's lifestyle reflected his success and heart. He owned a 2003 Mercedes-Benz SL55 AMG and a vintage Land Rover, symbols of his Hollywood peak, alongside a collection of luxury watches like a Patek Philippe he wore at premieres. His $35 million Napa Valley estate and San Francisco mansion showcased his taste, though he sold a private jet to simplify life post-divorce. He co-founded Comic Relief, raising $80 million, and held stakes in tech ventures. Brand deals with Disney fueled his wealth, estimated at $100 million, while robust health and asset insurance protected his legacy. His lesson? Invest in passion. His charity and craft outlived market swings. Robin's legacy is more than films or wealth. He taught us to seize the day, to laugh fiercely, to love deeply. Sally Field carries his memory, a friend who shielded her in grief but couldn't shield himself. His story asks us, who's hiding pain behind a smile? Share your thoughts below. Let's keep his light alive. As we close the curtain on this journey through Robin Williams' life, it's hard not to feel the weight of his absence alongside the warmth of his enduring light. His story, woven through laughter, kindness, and a hidden battle, reminds us that even the brightest souls can carry unseen burdens. From the Mrs. Doubtfire set, where he lifted Sally Field through her darkest moment, to the global stage where he sparked joy in millions, Robin was more than a comedian. He was a force of humanity. His improvisational genius turned simple scenes into timeless memories, like the genie's wild riffs in Aladdin, or the heartfelt Carpe Diem in Dead Poets Society. Yet it was his quiet empathy, rearranging a shoot to give Sally space to grieve, or bringing laughter to Christopher Reeve in a hospital room, that revealed the man behind the mask. His struggle with Lewy body dementia, misdiagnosed as Parkinson's, showed us how even the most vibrant spirits can face battles we never see. The $441 million success of Mrs. Doubtfire and his $100 million legacy of films and charity weren't just numbers. They were proof of a life poured into making others feel seen, heard, and loved. Box Office Mojo Forbes 2014. Robin's story isn't just about loss. It's a call to look closer, to check in with those who shine the brightest. His Napa Valley estate, vintage Land Rover, and Patek Philippe watches spoke of a life well lived, but his $80 million raised for comic relief and visits to troops in Iraq showed where his heart truly lay. Hodinky, 2018. He taught us to invest in what matters: passion, people, and purpose over fleeting fame. His passing in 2014 sparked a global conversation, with Lewy body dementia awareness surging as fans and advocates pushed for better understanding. Lewy Body Dementia Association. Sally Field's words still echo. He gave so much to us, but couldn't save enough for himself. That truth stings, but it also urges us to hold our loved ones a little tighter, to ask the questions we're afraid to voice. Your thoughts on Robin's legacy, his laughter, his kindness, his hidden pain, mean the world to this story. Drop them in the comments. Share what moved you, whether it's a favorite role or a moment that hit home. If his story resonated, give this video a thumbs up. It helps us keep these stories alive. And hit that subscribe button to join us for more tales of the icons who shaped our lives. Next time, we're diving into another legend's untold story, one packed with twists and triumphs that'll leave you speechless. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Robin's light still flickers in every quote we repeat, every laugh we share, every time we seize the day. He wasn't just a star. He was a friend who reminded us to live fiercely, love deeply, and never let the spark go out. So let's keep his magic alive, one story at a time. After all, as Robin once showed us, a single laugh can change everything.